Do you wonder why some men lead while others follow like sheep? What are the factors that decide who gets to play the alpha while others are the beta? Unlike most things in the world, science simply cannot give you a definite answer. But that doesn't mean we have to live in the dark. A lot of men have thought about this very query and have come to one unanimous conclusion. It depends on the life force. Yes, each man's life force determines what role he picks up in society. Now, you may wonder what life force is. You may be thinking, could I control my life force? The answer is most definitely yes. Every man gets to choose the energy he wishes to exude to his surroundings, and that then determines what direction his life takes. So, what actually is life force? To understand this, first I want you to think about what is the one thing everyone wishes, ever since they are young and gain consciousness, to all the way till their demise. What is that thing which everyone seeks, but no one attains? What's the one thing that everyone who lives is promised to get? It's death. It doesn't matter who or what you are, death is one thing you don't escape. Now, since humans are the most intelligent species on Earth, we have the ability to think about the future and what it holds. We plan, and we expect things. Your mind can't fathom anything when it thinks of death. It acts like a black hole with no light escaping it for us to form a picture, and that's why it's impossible to not be frightened of just a thought of death. So, since death is promised, our minds try to counter it in one way it could: life force. Life force means literally what it says. It's a force of life. Life force exists in two forms, both involving creating. The first is creation and progression of our species, while the second is creating of an entity that exists far after your physical fades away. As scared as our minds are of death, they also have to accept it since its job is to be rational. So what it does is find ways to achieve immortality in other forms if it can't attain it in one. Hence, since you can't live forever, you try to create something that will. This way, after you're long gone, you still exist on the face of the earth, embedded into history. Take example of all the great leaders and revolutionaries of our world. These were people who, like everybody, wanted to cement themselves in history, but unlike everybody, actually had the ability and skill to do so. They had that dominant life force which enabled them to impact our world like they did. And now, they might be long gone, but their names are still as prominent as ever. That is the closest we humans can come to immortality. Others who aren't worldwide famous leaders still attempt to gain immortality by another means, by creating something that outlives them. Everything we see around us is an example of this. Our phones, cars, airplanes, internet, electricity, light, everything. If it's been made by a human, it's included in the list. These things are the embodiment of the primary inner drive that pushes people to create. Otherwise, why wouldn't the greatest minds simply stay in bed all day while doing bare minimum? Why did they feel the urge to create something so impactful? Let me tell you again, life force. It all circles back to life force. The revolutionaries of the past had life force way stronger than what we have nowadays. They had the urge in them to create, and so they did. Us nowadays, on the other hand, don't have that urge within us anymore. There are still 1% of men who haven't fallen into the trap and are utilizing their life force like the old days to create something extraordinary. But majority have succumbed to inferiority. Most men voluntarily give their life force away by wasting their seed. Think about what the role of your seed really is. It's simply to make sure your genetic code continues and is passed on to the next generation successfully. It has a very functional role. The only reason our bodies attach pleasure to it is to make sure that even the stupidest of our species, or every species, who can't figure out what they need to do at all, just naturally feel a push to have intercourse. Imagine a man fapping a lot. What do you think his mind is thinking? The pleasure he's getting, his brain doesn't know if it's coming because of a woman or his own hand. All it thinks is, I'm releasing my life force via seed, which means I've fulfilled my most important mission, to make sure you live after you're gone. Do you see how you can get lost in that deceiving? You are basically deceiving your mind into thinking that everything is going as it should. It's going great. When in reality, you are nowhere close to fulfilling that mission. You are simply fooling your mind into thinking you've accomplished what the greats who came before you accomplished, while all you really accomplished was an intimate session with your hand. This wouldn't matter if you knew you were going to die tomorrow. After you've made all the arrangements, you could just indulge in pleasure till you have to kick the bucket. But the problem is, we don't know when we die. If you still have a long time to go, and you keep wasting your life force on a daily basis, think of all the major progress and achievements you're keeping yourself from. All the impact you could have made on a community, national, or even international level. It's something we all need to think about. In order to boost your masculine energy, the most powerful strategy is understanding the power of your life force. Start saving it and using it to create something that stays once you're gone. Whether that's the next big invention, or simply kids who will carry forward your genetic makeup. Anything's better than wiping your life force away on a tissue paper and throwing it away. That's the easiest way to not be alive before you even die. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like and comment your thoughts on the matter. Make sure you subscribe, as we have a lot more videos coming out which will elevate your status in life. With that said, see you all soon.